recording.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming to our section today. I am Chawa O, the Assistant Director of Learning and Technology Initiatives in the Center for Teaching and Learning at Georgia Tech. I also have my colleague and collaborator of our project, Asiria, here today too. Asiria, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Cecilia. I have been working together with Chawa on this project, and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
All right. I am going to share my screen with everybody. So we are going to share with you our experiences of redesigning an open textbook by leveraging media pedagogy and students' collaboration. So first of all, I would like to give you a little bit background information about the course and the textbook I use. So this course, Econ 2105, is one of the 4 economics courses offered at Georgia Tech. It's a 3-credit-hour course offered 3 semesters a year. And currently, for this semester, a total of 280 students enrolled in the class. And originally, there was a commercial textbook, which costs from $160 to $249. And in 2018, Assyria adopted and pilots an OpenStack textbook in this class, and using the book Principles of Macroeconomics 2E. And at the end of the semester, we did a survey to get some feedback from students about the adopted textbook. According to the survey results, and students really appreciated that the class used a free textbook. And 84% of them were very satisfied or satisfied with the textbook. However, only the results also indicates that 30% of the students never use the resources available after each chapter in the book. And then, however, for those who did use the resources, and half of them say they were very useful or useful. And then students also suggested a few enhancements that we can make to the textbook. They wish for better content presentation, more visuals, more practices, and then overall, they wish the book could be more interactive. So when we saw the call for proposal from the Affordable Learning Georgia, we submit the proposal and then with the idea of redesigning the textbook with multimedia learning. And then we got some funds from Affordable Learning Georgia, and we started the project. So the idea of using multimedia to redesign the textbook is that, so multimedia learning is learning with words and pictures. For words, it could be printed words or spoken words. For pictures, they refer to animations, videos, illustrations, and photos. So the theory behind multimedia learning is that we human beings have 2 channels for processing information, the verbal channel and the visual channel. However, there is a limited capacity there. That means that only small amounts of information can be processed in each channel at any one time. So therefore, we need to figure out ways to help students actively process information when we teach, so that their learning could be meaningful and more effective. And as we remember, students would like more visuals in the textbook. So when we consider using visuals, there are two principles that we need to use as guidelines. The first principle is, of course, multimedia principle. We not only use words to present content, instead, we include both words and visuals. However, the more is not always better in this case. We need to achieve some balance. So it comes the coherence principle, that when we think about using visuals, we should not use it excessively, because using too many visuals, if they're not relevant, they could be distracting and hurt learning eventually. And these are the two principles when we add visuals to our textbook. We add some images. However, our use of images is still minimal, and we ensure that they are relevant. As you can see here on the screen, this is an example of our use of image. We often add images as a background, and then on the image, we put some text. This text is often used as an introductory section for the coming section. And they are sometimes it could be a statement, it could be a question, and they serve as an introduction to the comment section. And then, however, we do use a lot of videos. There are a total of 20 chapters in the book, and then we use a total of 111 videos. We make sure that the videos are from reliable sources and they are relevant to the course topic. And we also make sure that we only use very short videos, no more than 10 minutes long, and they are accessible. That means that all the videos offers auto captioning, and we embed the videos within the chapters so that students do not have to navigate away from the chapters in order to watch the video. And so in our course survey this semester, we asked students what's most valuable to their learning. So here are some comments from students who think that the visuals are very valuable to their learning. So in addition to add new content, such as the visuals I just mentioned, we also work on redesigning the existing content. We focus on how to organize and present the existing content. So in doing that, we use 4 principles to guide the redesign. The segmenting principle, and then the second principle is the signaling principle, and the pre-training principle, and the spatial contiguity principle. I'm going to give you examples on how we apply these principles into our redesign. So first of all, the segmenting principle, the idea is very simple. For very long lessons, you break it down into bite-sized segments. So one of these examples is here. So on the screen, you see 2 screenshots. On the right side of the screen, it's the original menu for chapter 4. So this is what it looks like for chapter 4 in the original textbook there are 3 sections: 4.1, 4.3, and then the supplementary resources. So on the left, you can see we broke the section 4.1 into smaller subsections, and with an overview and several topics for this section, and then a summary. And then we also add 2 practices for students to do quick knowledge check and review questions. So overall, we broke it down to each section, the original section, into smaller subsections and add practices, opportunities for students. And another technique of segmenting is that in the textbook, there are descriptions on telling students how to do a task. And then, so the task sometimes could be simple and sometimes could be a little bit long, take several steps to complete a task. So we broke those long tasks into multiple steps and help students navigate through this 4 steps by using this interface. They can go back and forth through several steps. Actually, what this screenshot does not show is that we also have an introductory before step 1. And then after step 4, the last step, we have a conclusion. So this is another segmenting technique we use when it comes to demonstrating how to do a task in the textbook. And here is another example of segmenting technique. So when compared to different concepts, in order to distinguish 2 different concepts, the description could be long. As you can see here, for only one concept, there are 2 paragraphs. So we use 2 tabs to do a side-by-side comparison instead of having students scroll up and down in order to understand the difference between these 2 concepts. So signaling technique. So of course, there are many techniques for signaling. You can use headlines, colors, and other techniques as well. So here, one of the techniques we use is that to make the main idea or important points or even the important question stand out in between paragraphs. So this is to remind students this is a very important point they need to pay attention to. We also, for very long paragraphs, for example, in this section, there are 6 factors that can talk on that can shift the mind. So we allow students to click on the plus sign to open each factor to learn what how each factor can shift the mind. So the purpose of using this presentation is that students can focus on the 6 factors, and they can open and then expand in class when they go through each factor. Here are a few comments from students who regard the organization and presentation of information as something valuable to their learning. So basically, you can see that students appreciate the information being broken down because this way could help make the information more digestible to them. And another interesting point is that one of the comments that the organization let the students track their progress within a chapter. This is I do not show this in the screenshot example. However, when students navigated through a chapter, there is a signal to show them where they are in terms of progressing through the entire chapter. Okay, in the textbook, the economics, there are a lot of key terms and terminologies. So we use two techniques to help students to review the definition and the characteristic of the key terms. For example, you can see here, we have a very small section with different, with the yellow background to summarize the two key terms for students. They are usually embedded within text. And at the end of each chapter, we use flashcards to define all the key terms. As you can see, for this chapter, there are a total of 26 key terms, and we give them a stack of flashcards to review the key terms at the end of the chapter. And for another characteristic of this textbook is there are a lot of graphs. So figures like this. As you can see here, there are 3 figures on this screenshot. So it's about employment rates by gender, by age, and by race. So these 3 graphs are grouped together, and the explanation of these 3 graphs are either above or under the graph. And then when we present it, we do a little bit change. So we separate the 3 graphs. So we put the graph on the left and the explanation of the graph on the right side. So we have 3, we actually have 3 sections, one with one paragraph, one graph and their corresponding explanation. Another example, interesting example, is that as you can see here, there is a chart, a bar chart, and it's about 8 major categories in the consumer price index. So the explanation is on the top of the chart. So when we present it, again, we make some transformation, make it a little bit interactive. You can see here, we don't put the explanation on the top anymore. Instead, the students can click on a number. Next, for example, transportation is number 3. When the students click on number 3, a little window pops up and then gives the students a description of what transportation category include. So these are the techniques we use for making the content interactive. So in students' comments, students appreciate the interactive components and the flashcards and the graphs and the tables and figures with explanations. So these are the techniques and principles we use for presenting content, adding new content. And then we also want students to learn by doing, not just watching or reading. They should doing something while they read and study. So we provide 2 types of practices to students. They are quick knowledge check questions and review questions. In total, we added 130 quick knowledge check questions and 74 review questions. I'm going to show you what these questions are like. This quick knowledge check questions are typical multiple choice questions. As you can see, this is a very typical multiple choice question. So when students choose an answer, they will immediately know whether their answer is correct and incorrect. And more importantly, we give them explanation on why the answer is correct or incorrect. So for review questions, students do not respond to that question by writing or entering anything. Instead, they just check for answers. It is a questions for them to think about. And then we provide them with a solution and explanation. When they click when they check for answers. So here is the screenshot of the explanation. And again, there is a solution if they click on it. So what do students think about the practices? Some students find them valuable. Here are a few comments. And I'm glad to read the last comment because the students mentioned that's why each answer, there are explanations for why each answer is wrong and right, because it's a lot of work for us to create those questions and then provide explanations for each answer choice. So in summary, we have used 6 principles for multimedia learning to guide our redesign of the textbook. If you remember, multimedia principle and coherence principle for using visuals, and there are other 4 principles for content organization and presentation. So we did the student survey on how well the textbook works. So here are our students. 128 students completed the survey, and students are from 6 colleges, and half of them are freshmen, and 6% of them male, and then about 40% female, and 77% native speakers of English. And 41% of the students said the course of textbook has a significant impact on their ability to afford college, and 30% said the impact is moderate. So we want to know the effectiveness of learning on the textbook. So here are students, the percentages of students who strongly agree or agree with this statements, asking about different aspects of the textbook. And overall, as you can see, the 88% of the students said the textbook helps improve their learning experience. And then we also asked how useful the practices are. So here are the results. About 69% to 76% said they are useful, very useful or useful. And then the overall satisfaction rate is about 87%. So to some students, the textbook is as good as it is. So here are very good compliments from the students. However, there are students want more. Interestingly, things they want are different from previous students on the original textbook. They want bookmarking, searching, annotating. Again, more practice questions. They say the questions are so good, they want more. And then more examples. So as I mentioned, this is a project that we collaborate with students. We were lucky to have a team of students to help us with learning design and assessment design, graphic and web design, and content review as well. So if you are interested in technical stuff, if you're curious about how we created the chapters and the assessment, so the software we use is called Articulate Rise 360, and we use the WordPress for our website. So the free textbook is available on this website, Intro Macro website. And our textbook can be downloaded if students prefer offline reading. And we also present the textbook in Canvas, which is our learning management system. There are 5 modules, and these modules can be exported and imported to other courses. And we like to thank the contributors of the original textbook. And we also like to thank OpenStax and the support from Affordable Learning Georgia. And I believe do we still have time for questions?
We will need to stop the recording in about 30 seconds, but we can be in this room for another 15 minutes if anyone would like to stay and have some question and answer time.
Again, we welcome feedback. There is anonymous feedback form on the textbook website, and if you would like to talk to either me or Asiria, here are our email address.